Today we celebrate the fact that love truly is a many-splendored thing. It's an emotion, a feeling, a noun, and a verb. It speaks to our ups and our downs, our beginnings and endings, and sometimes the messy middle in between. It speaks to what matters most in our life, to what we hold most dear, to the web of relationships that makes us who we are. So this morning it is my pleasure to share with you a feast of poetry that speaks to the many facets of love. As one of your ministers, it's a delight to read love poems to you. So I've grouped them in arrangements that seem to make sense to me, and I'll offer a little space for just settling in and gestation, or digestion, not gestation. Poetry can be pregnant when but allow a little space for digestion. Consider the generosity of the one-year-old by Alison Luderman. Consider the generosity of the one-year-old who has no words to exchange with you and instead offers up her favorite drooled-on blanket, her green rhinoceros as big as she is, her cloth doll with the long blonde pigtails, her battered cardboard books swung open on their soggy pages. If you were outdoors, she would hand you a dead beetle, a fistful of grass, a pebble, by way of introduction or just because. And if a moment later she wanted it back, it would be for the joy of the game that makes of every simple object an offering. This is me. Here is who I am. In the same way, sun drapes a buttered scarf across your face. Rose opens herself to your glance, and rain shares its divine melancholy. The whole world keeps whispering or shouting to you, nibbling your ear like a neglected lover, while you worry over matters of finance, of relationship, important issues relating to getting and spending, saving and hoarding. Though you were once that baby, though you are still that world. Accepting This by Mark Nepo. Yes, it is true, I confess. I have thought great thoughts and sung great songs, all of it rehearsal for the majesty of being held. The dream is awakened when thinking I love you, and life begins when saying I love you, and joy moves like blood when embracing others with love. My efforts now turn from trying to outrun suffering to accepting love wherever I can find it. Stripped of causes and plans and things to strive for, I have discovered everything I could need or ask for is right here in flawed abundance. We cannot eliminate hunger, but we can feed each other. We cannot eliminate loneliness, but we can hold each other. We cannot eliminate pain, but we can live a life of compassion. Ultimately, we are small living things awakened in the stream, not gods who carve out rivers. Like human fish, we are asked to experience meaning in the life that moves through the gill of our heart. There is nothing to do and nowhere to go. Accepting this, we can do everything and go anywhere. Those Winter Sundays by Robert Hayden. Sundays, my father got up early and put his clothes on in the blue-black cold, and then with cracked hands that ached from labor in the weekday weather, made baked fires blaze. No one ever thanked him. I would wait and hear the cold splintering breaking. When the rooms were warm, he would call, and slowly I would rise and dress, fearing the chronic angers of that house. Speaking indifferently to him, who had driven out the cold and polished my good shoes as well. What did I know? What did I know of love's austere and lonely offices? After Our Daughter's Wedding by Ellen Bass. While the remnants of cake and half-empty champagne glasses lay on the lawn like sunbathers lingering in the slanting light, we left the house guests and drove to Antonelli's pond. On a log by the bank, I sat down in my flowered dress and cried. A lone fisherman drifting by, casting his ribbon of light. Do you feel like you've given her away, you asked. But no, it was that she made it to here, that she didn't drown in a well or die of pneumonia or take the pills. She wasn't crushed under the mammoth wheels of a semi on Highway 17, wasn't found lying in the alley that night after rehearsal when I got the time wrong. It's animal, the egg not eaten by the weasel. Turtles crossing the beach, exposed in the moonlight, and we have so few to start with. And that long gestation, like carrying your soul out in front of you. All those years of feeding and watching, the vulnerable hollow at the back of the neck, never knowing what could pick them off, a seagull swooping down for a clam. Our most basic imperative, for them to survive. And there's never been a moment we could count on it. After Our Wedding by Yeshua November. When you forgot the address of our hotel in your suitcase, the driver had to pull over in front of the restaurant. Men and women dining beneath the August sun looked up from their salads to clap for you. A young, slender woman in a wedding dress and tiara, retrieving a slip of paper from the trunk of a cab in the middle of the street. And since that day, many of the guests at our wedding have divorced or are gone. And the restaurant has closed to become a tattoo parlor. And we have misplaced and found many more papers, but no one was clapping. And the motion of the lives around us has been like a great bus, slowly turning onto a crowded street. And some of the passengers have fallen asleep in their seats, while others anxiously search their jacket pockets for the notes that might wed their ordinary lives to something lofty and astonishing.
If love makes one feel deep pain and condemns one to live in misery, for your love I will give you, my dear, even the blood that boils within my veins. And if love is a fountain of mystic grief and makes men drag long chains, I swear to you I will drag them across the infinite and black seas of my soul.
a sonnet from the Archives of Love's Failures, volumes 1 through 3.5 million, by Anne Boyding. If you were once inside my circle of love, and from the circle are now excluded, and all my loved citizens I love more than you. If you were once my lover, but I stopped letting you, what is the view from outside my love's limit? Does my love's interior emit upward and cut into night? Do my charms, investigations, and illnesses issue to the dark that circles my circle? Do they bother your sleep? And if you were once my friend and are now my villainous foe, what stories do you tell about how stupid those days when I cared for you? Because I tell stories of how you must tremble at my love's terrible walls, how the memory of its interior you must always be eroding. Lending Out Books by Hal Sirowitz. You're always giving, my therapist said. You have to learn how to take. Whenever you meet a woman, the first thing you do is lend her your books. You think she'll have to see you again in order to return them. But what happens is, she doesn't have the time to read them, and she's afraid if she sees you again, you'll expect her to talk about them. And you'll want to love her even more. So she cancels the date. You end up losing a lot of books. You should borrow hers. This is Just to Say by William Carlos Williams. I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox and which you were probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me, they were delicious, so sweet and so cold. This is Just to Say by Erica Lynn Gambino for William Carlos Williams. I have just asked you to get out of my apartment, even though you never thought I would. Forgive me, you are driving me insane. new recipe for a hamburger hot dish by Leo Dangle. How did you like it? She asked. It's all right, he said. This is the third time I cooked it this way. Why can't you ever say if you liked something? Well, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't eat it, he said. You never can say anything I cook tastes good. I don't know why all the time you think I have to say it's good. I eat it, don't I? I don't think you have to say all the time it's good. But once in a while, you could say you like it. It's all right, he said. After a Noisy Night by Laura Ann Mosselar. The man I love enters the kitchen with a groan. He just woke up, his hair a Rorschach test. A minty kiss, a hand on my neck, coffee, 2% milk, microwave. He collapses on a chair, stunned with sleep, yawns, groans again, complains about his dry sinuses and crusted nose. I want to tell him how much he slept, how well. The cacophony of his snoring, pumping in long wheezes and throttles, the debacle of rhythm, hours erratic with staccato of pants and puffs, crescendi of gulps, chokes, pectoral sputters, and spits. But the microwave goes ding. A short little ding, sharp as a guillotine, loud enough to stop my words from killing the moment. And during the few seconds it takes the man I love to open the microwave, stir, sit there staring at his mug, I remember the vows I made to my pillows, to fate and to God. I'll stop eating licorice, become a blonde, a lumberjack, a Catholic, anything but bring me a man. So I go to him. Sorry, honey. Sorry you had such a rough night. And I hold his gray head against my heart, and I kiss him. Sorry, Bob's sitting in the front row. I'll just leave it there. The Longlyweds Know by Leah Furness. The Longlyweds know that it isn't about the golden anniversary at all, but about all the unremarkable years that Hallmark doesn't even make a card for. It's about the second anniversary when they were surprised to find they cared for each other more than last year. And the fourth when both the kids had chicken pox and she threw her shoe at him for no real reason. And the sixth when he accidentally got drunk on the way home from work because being a husband and father was so damn hard. It's about the 11th and 12th and 13th years where they discovered they could survive a crisis. And the 22nd anniversary when they looked at each other across the empty nest and found it good. It's about the 37th year when she finally decided she could never change him. And the 38th when he decided a little change wasn't that bad. It's about the 46th anniversary when they both bought cards and forgot to give them to each other. But most of all, it's about the end of the 49th year when they discovered you don't have to be old to have a 50th anniversary.
Through my till love is gone, and time thirst disappears. I've come to you, smiling through the years.
Love After Love by Derek Walcott. The time will come when, with elation, you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, "Sit here, eat." You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine. Give bread. Give back your heart to itself, the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life. Otherwise, by Jane Kenyon. I got out of bed on two strong legs. It might have been otherwise. I ate cereal, sweet milk, ripe, flawless peach. It might have been otherwise. I took the dog uphill to the birch wood. All morning I did the work I love. At noon, I lay down with my mate. It might have been otherwise. We ate dinner together at a table with silver candlesticks. It might have been otherwise. I slept in a bed in a room with paintings on the walls and planned another day just like this day. But one day I know it will be otherwise.
You are the new day, new
Mark Mosher DeWolf, who served this congregation as our summer minister back in the late 1980s. It was a time when the congregation was in open conflict about the level of comfort of having gay and lesbian ministers in our tradition. And at the end of his time with us, and after listening to all the debate in the congregation, and after people had loved Mark just came out to the congregation and said, "You've been doing this for a very long time." And the congregation does not seem to have any issues since then. These are words he delivered in 1987 at an AIDS vigil in Toronto, a few months before he died at the age of 35 of AIDS. Reach inside yourself and touch that special place in your heart where love blooms and grows. Know that it is love which brought you here today, and love which keeps you alive. Know that you are not alone, that the love which blooms inside you is shared by the loved ones who surround you, who, like you, have known not only loss, not only fear, but also the joy of saying yes to the beauty of life. Know that the love which blooms inside you is stronger than fear. For people who love find strength they didn't know they had. Know that the love inside you is stronger than illness. For people who love hang in when physical health is gone. And know that love is indeed stronger than death. For people who love are like stones tossed into a pool. The circles of love radiate out and echo back long after the stone has come to rest on the bottom. So remember your love as a source of strength. Remember who you are, lovers tossed by these difficult times. Let us go in peace.